morning, dear people of the internet, and welcome to about the 600th iteration of Hot Girl Summer. Every year it seems like there's a new trend about how to be healthy, and this year it seems to be Almond daughters, which is pretty confusing because I thought that means something else than it actually does, or it has changed meaning. I don't know, we have got to look into it. Before we do that though, I have a very short public service announcement. I have this very delusional plan of this channel helping me through college and beyond, and you can help me with that for free, luckily, by subscribing and watching my videos. So thank you for that. Now let's get started. Almond daughters started by almond moms. This term was popularized by children on the internet of these almond mothers who are obsessed with health and obsessed with judging and controlling what their children eat. These children would then make TikTok videos like these to show their frustrations.
What are you eating now? That's enough? That's enough. Oh, you had KFC for lunch. I don't think you should eat any tea. However, there is some lettuce and some dust. Would you actually put these on your cereals? They are so good for you. I'm up at 6 tomorrow. If you want to get up with me, I'm going to go for a run before I go on my bike. Just going to put a few extra seeds on my salad.
I'm about 65% sure that this is a parody, but it's not even exaggerated. These children really get judged this harshly in the real videos as well. I just thought that this explained it really well. These children, who are actually always adults, and most often, or I have not seen any men in a video like this in this context, so they're most likely always women, which is a problem on its own, really get judged this harshly. I probably don't have to explain why this is toxic, but just in case. If a person who you're supposed to look up to, like your mother, is constantly judging you like this, it's probably at the very least not gonna be great for your confidence. And it is also likely to cause other mental health problems, which is not great. On top of that, the phrase almond mom was made up after an episode of the reality show Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, in which Gigi Hadid says that she feels weak, and then her mom advises her to just have a handful of almonds to not feel weak anymore. With my very limited knowledge about the human body, health and nutrition, because I have first aid training and I have life experience, I can tell you that this is most likely a very toxic and not healthy response to someone saying I feel weak. If it's due to not eating enough, a few almonds are not gonna cut it. Otherwise, your blood sugar is too low or your blood salt is too low, although very unlikely, but in some people that is a problem, or you're just genuinely sick. If your blood sugar is low, almonds are also not gonna cut it. If your salt is low, almonds are also not gonna cut it unless they're salted, but then there's better ways to solve that. And when you're sick, you also need fuel to get better. Just a few almonds is also not gonna cut it. It is a healthy snack though, but like if you really feel weak, you need more. I think this shows that the term almond mom stands for a health obsessed person who is kind of oblivious to what is actually healthy, and who is also projecting this onto their most likely not male child. The name almond moms is given to these people by people who don't agree with their behavior. So when I heard the term almond daughter, I initially thought that we were talking about the victims of this behavior, because that would make sense. Until I saw this video.
My non-toxic morning routine as an almond daughter. First thing, I rinse my mouth with room temperature salt water. Every morning you wake up with a layer of biofilm on your tongue made up of dead cells, toxins and bacteria. Now I tongue scrape and then swish coconut oil around my mouth for 20 minutes. It's antibacterial, antiparasitic, naturally whitens your teeth and prevents halitosis. Then I put on my red light mask containing both red and near infrared light whilst I meditate for around 20 minutes. I like to habit stack my oil pulling, meditation and red light mask. And then I hug my sister for morning serotonin because she's just woken up. Then I take a No BS toothpaste tablet. They're free from fluoride, parabens, sulfates and nasties. And I use this toothbrush with a plant-based head to brush my teeth. Hydration station. 10 grams of creatine monohydrate, an H2 hydrogen tab, salt water, and mineral or filtered water. Then I do some gratitude journaling in my 5-minute journal. It literally takes 2 minutes and has all the prompts laid out for me. Normally, I don't go on my phone for at least an hour in the morning, so this is an exception. But I do always try and get natural sunlight as close to waking as possible. Time to go have breakfast, move my body, and enjoy the day.
This is almost exactly the opposite of what I thought an almond daughter would be. There's a lot going on here, so let's just go through this morning routine first and see if it is actually healthy or not really, and then go from there. The first thing she seems to do when getting up is not going to the toilet, like I think most of us would do, but she gets herself a glass of salted water. And not just your regular sea salt from the grocery store with some tap water, like I would think that would mean. No, it comes in a specific pump situation thing. I cannot find this exact rinse, but like unless she made the salt water herself and put it in there to make it look fancy, which maybe she does do that, she bought salt water from some place. I'm not sure if I'm saying this because I grew up like next to the sea. I don't live next to the sea anymore, but like you can just go to the beach and get yourself some, probably dirty, but whatever, salt. There are cheaper ways to get salted water. It's almost free if you make it yourself or get it yourself. I never heard about this biofilm thing, so I did look it up. And it's basically the name for all the bacteria and like the food leftovers and other gunk that just lives on your tongue at all times, not necessarily only in the morning. It's not necessarily a bad thing that it's there. There are also healthy bacteria in there, but it can cause bad breath if you're not taking care of it enough by brushing your teeth and whatever. So getting a tongue scraper to scrape it up every now and then might be helpful according to the internet. If you are struggling with having bad breath, you can try that. A saltwater rinse can also help with your mouth health. For example, if you're struggling with sores in your mouth, the salt water rinse gets the bacteria out of the wounds in your mouth and cleans them. However, it never made the connection to this biofilm thing when I was looking this up. Maybe there is a connection because again, it kills the bacteria in the wound, so it might as well kill the bacteria on your tongue as well. Logic. And there was never on the whole internet or like on anywhere that I did look a connection to mornings. Next thing she does is scraping her tongue, and after that she rinses her mouth with coconut oil for 20 minutes. How anyone can swish anything in their mouth for 20 minutes is a miracle to me, but like kudos to this person, I guess, that you trained yourself to do that. I could never. I don't want to also. It's a very long time, and there is an inappropriate joke about swallowing in here somewhere. You figure it out. I don't want to make that. I looked up on the internet if this was a thing because I never heard of it before, and apparently oil pulling, this is what it's called, comes from India, where people do this to get rid of the bad bacteria in your mouth. There is no good evidence of this working, but like people have been doing it for a long time. At least it tastes nice for people. I don't like the taste of coconut, but like if you do like the taste of coconut and don't mind doing this, there's no harm. With these things, I'm mostly just like, you do you, but there is something like overdoing it, and I take issue with the part that she's presenting this as the healthy way to live. We've already seen 3 methods of removing bacteria from your mouth, and then she also brushes her teeth. Mouth health is important, but obsessing over it and advertising the obsession is unhealthy, I think. The next step in this elaborate morning routine is meditation and red light therapy. According to the website of Stanford University, red light therapy is helpful against wrinkles and hair loss. Other effects have not been sufficiently researched yet, and once you stop the red light treatment, it won't do anything for your hair loss or wrinkles anymore. Then it just goes back to the way before. Like if you start doing it, you have to be doing it forever or just deal with the effects of, I guess, aging. So it does work, we're just not sure how well it works. According to Harvard University, meditation is good for your health as well. After that, she uses this BS-free toothpaste and specifically mentions that it doesn't have fluoride, except fluoride is not BS. It's a naturally occurring mineral that is also found in food and water. It helps to prevent tooth decay, which is why it's in toothpaste in the first place. And fun fact, apparently shrimp are naturally very high in fluoride compared to other things. That does not mean that you can start brushing your teeth with shrimp, probably. After that, she goes to her hydration station to put powders in her water. The first powder she puts in is called creatine monohydrate, which is also naturally found in fish and meat. It helps sporters recover their muscles quicker after intensive training. It's not something you need supplements for unless you are an active sporter and you have gotten it recommended by your sports nutritionist. But like everyone else already gets enough from their daily food intake, most likely, or just doesn't need it as much because there are other things that help heal your muscles after sporting as well. The second thing she puts in is a hydrogen tablet. the studies about this are positive, but also not very broad. In the most convincing study, the hydrogen tablets lowered the levels of cholesterol and blood sugar in patients who already were having higher levels of this in the first place. However, scientists don't think that this does a whole lot for people who are not struggling with these high levels of blood sugar and cholesterol, so you don't necessarily need it, probably. The thing is, everything she does in this morning routine is considerably healthy, but it's also a morning routine of about an hour before even eating anything. I'm kind of wondering if she's ever thinking about anything else than her health, and I hope she does for her own sake. Like, I've struggled with an eating disorder before, and the obsessing over it was so incredibly stressful. That obsession was very unhealthy for me, and I assume I'm not the only one for who that would be unhealthy. So that's why I hope she is not having this kind of obsession about her health all the time. Genuinely. She also shows off a lot of different products with the labels and the brands, and of course she has multiple affiliate links. Like a lot of them, there are so many of them. So if you look at it like that, it kind of almost looks like a gigantic ad. I despise undisclosed ads. I also don't like it when people are promoting their own toxic obsession. Again, not entirely sure if it is, because I cannot judge that from the other side of the internet. But it does look like it. It's presented like that. We can assume it without it having to be true, because the only thing she talks about is her health and showing what is healthy according to her. In that way, the viewers will also be influenced to kind of think like that. So therefore, I think it's toxic. And I don't like that. So I don't like this video. In my own personal opinion and my grandmother's wisdom, too much is never good, no matter what it is. So that also goes for health activities in your morning routine. This video was not really food related, and I do associate almond moms with food, so we have to watch this video about an almond daughter and an almond mom judging things in a grocery store.
We have just come to M&S.
Here, they've got loads of new things that I might approve of.
Some good ingredient items, so we're going to try and find them.
So crisps, we need some for the weekend, but I'm always just so disappointed. They're always made with sunflower oil or rapeseed oil.
But these ones are meant to be pretty good. The truffle ones are actually amazing.
Okay, we'll get some of them.
The thing with seed oils is there's a lack of evidence of them being harmful for human consumption. Well, if you drink an entire bottle of sunflower oil, I think it's not going to be great for you, but that's with literally anything you consume. According to an article on the BBC website, seed oils are mostly associated with prepackaged ultra-processed foods, which are generally speaking, but not always, not very healthy for you, and therefore seed oils have this association to unhealthy products. The omega-6 in seed oils might contribute to more inflammation in your body, but there's not enough evidence to support that this is happening with the amount of seed oils a regular person consumes on a regular day. The key here is moderation, like literally everything else again, because science points to the idea that seed oils are perfectly fine in moderation.
I like you'll like these soups over here. Some quite nice ones.
Yes, that's really nicely packaged, isn't it?
And I think actually
Lobster beast. We better get some of that for Daddy-O. Like that, wouldn't he? Cream, white wine, brandy and lobster. I mean, his favourite ingredients ever.
I find it very surprising that these people are against seed oils but not against wine. I know that when you cook with wine, the alcohol evaporates into the air, and there is a chance that this person is only okay with wine in that context. However, she did say that it's one of her favorite ingredients. The way she said that kind of makes me assume that she's okay with wine in its natural cold form as well. Since alcohol is scientifically speaking definitely worse for you than the occasional amount of seed oils, I find it confusing why the idea of wine is even okay to her if the idea of seed oils, even if sometimes in your body, is so bad. Like a little bit of inflammation against dead brain cells, I just know what I would choose. This is not like shunning anyone who drinks alcohol every now and then. I think personally that's totally fine. Enjoyment of life for me and for a lot of other people is more important than prolonging your life until eternity. Anyway, I find it a bit hypocritical what is happening here. With the logic of the seed oils being bad for you, wine, even though the alcohol has been evaporated by cooking it beforehand, would also not be okay, I think.
Okay, well, we quite like our dairy yogurt, but they have now got this coconut yogurt, which everyone has been talking about. And look at the ingredients.
Yeah, just get
How good is
milk,
that?
coconut extract, water,
I mean, in comparison to this Alpro one, look at all those ingredients.
There's too many ingredients. That's not good.
Yeah, minimal ingredients.
I can imagine that the products with the least amount of ingredients are considered healthier, because fresh products need less preservatives and hold more nutrients or whatever, something like that. This is one of those things that the more I think about it, the less logical it sounds. Like a dish with a lot of fresh ingredients can also be great, but then it does have a lot of ingredients, and I'm sure she's talking about the ingredients that she doesn't necessarily know what they are and whatever or stuff like that, but she's not specifying that, and it's missing any kind of nuance, so we are going off lot of ingredients bad. I did look it up on the internet, and the internet came up with something logical that sounds like I asked an AI, which I did not. Very much no thank you. The thing is that the less ingredients it has, the less likely it is that it is ultra processed with things that are not healthy to put in your body. However, that does not necessarily mean that anything with a longer list of ingredients is ultra processed. It's a kind of all lions are cats but not all cats are lions situation. And as I said, the take that long ingredient lists are definitely unhealthy is just incredibly unnuanced, and I like nuance, so I don't like this take. I am in different clothes. It's about 1,000,000 degrees warmer because I forgot to record my audio in the last clip of this video, so I have to re-record it an hour before I plan to post this video. It's going great, but it's important, so we're doing this.
Okay, we've just come to the cheese section, which Waitrose is very good at their cheeses because we like the unpasteurized one. But I actually, even though this has got quite a good selection, I think they are all pasteurized. Ooh, look at that truffle cheddar. But it's probably just...
Oh, here we go. Raw cow's milk, Reblochon.
She's found one. Why do we like unpasteurized cheese?
Because it has all the raw probiotics in it and all the good things which are killed by pasteurization.
Unpasteurized cheese is made from raw milk. Pasteurized milk is milk that was heated in order to kill the most harmful bacteria in it, so it's quite important, I think. It's considered quite risky to be drinking raw milk, so that's why it's not sold for human consumption in most countries. But from what I found, it's a little bit different with cheese, because cheese goes through an aging process, which means that new structures inside the cheese are formed, which might cause some of the harmful bacteria to die. However, it's still not recommended for pregnant people, for example, to eat unpasteurized cheese. The reason why they are more into unpasteurized cheese is because they think the pasteurization process kills all the good bacteria in it, but I would rather be alive than have good nutrients, so I still wouldn't make this choice, but to each their own.
That in there. I'm not sure I love the packaging. It's a bit kind of young, isn't it?
Is it organic?
Doesn't say so, and it's made in China.
It seems like she doesn't like this project because the packaging looks quite young and it's made in China, which are both stereotypes, and also one of them implies racism. It's weird because young people and Chinese people can all make good things. It says nothing about the food. I think they need to learn the phrase "don't judge a book by its cover." I have not put in the entire video in the edit because it's quite long, but the gist of it is that they're judging whether they deem the food in this store healthy or some of the food in this store healthy, and the store passes with flying colors. A lot of products don't pass their test, but they do have products that they like, so I guess it's good now. I can confirm that it's very stressful to look at the ingredients when you're in a store. I do that sometimes because I don't eat meat, and sometimes I want to buy a frozen meal and then I have to check the package, or like noodles, I have to check the package to see if there's meat in it, because a lot of the times they don't put that on the front of the product, which is kind of annoying. I also did that a lot when I was having my eating disorder, which was also very stressful because you have to go read things while you're in a store and then also stress about them, and it's not great for your health to be stressed, as I said earlier. So I don't like it because of that, and I would not really encourage you to do that unless you have like an allergy or, like me, don't eat meat. Have a good reason to do so. I found it interesting that it seemed like the original Almond moms were also very concerned with the amount of food their children ate, and I cannot really say if that's still the case or not, but so far in my research I have not seen this being as big as an issue as before. It's more about health obsession. Don't get me wrong, that can still very much be an eating disorder, or at least promotion of disordered eating or thinking about how your health works in combination with your eating habits, it can still very much be an eating disorder. And I'm not saying that they have it. I'm not going to internet diagnose anyone. But also, these are the kinds of videos that don't help when you're already having this kind of thinking in your brain. They do the absolute opposite of helping. So even if the obsessed thinking about your health, like the people in these videos, because it's both their job and their lifestyle. I cannot imagine they're thinking about many other things for most of the day. And I can imagine that's not healthy, but even if it is, it's not going to be healthy for a lot of people who do watch this content. And you have a responsibility as a creator on the internet to think about that and think about the influence you have on people, especially when you have millions and millions of views. Like, it's important in all cases, but especially in this case. Since almond moms are known for judging their children, I'm also kind of wondering how these people look at other people who cannot live this kind of lifestyle or who don't want to live this kind of lifestyle. Like, if they feel better than them, or if they see this lifestyle as the only healthy lifestyle, or if they can agree with the fact that there are many healthy ways to live. Because if almond daughters had an almond mom and they're taught their way of thinking from their mom and agree with that, they most likely would also agree with the way they were taught that, which in most cases involves a lot of judgment. And the way of life they promote is very expensive and very time consuming. If you take the morning routine that took an hour and put it in front of your normal morning routine, because you also have to shower or clothe yourself or make a lunch for when you go to work, or maybe your children, or make breakfast and eat it. That also takes time. So you need to put it in front of it. You need to get up an hour earlier, which means that you have an hour less sleep, which a lot of people are not getting enough of anyway, or like an hour less rest time while you're awake the night before, if you have a normal work schedule or like normal 9 to 5-ish work schedule, which is also not great because most people really need that time awake to rest and like reset before they can sleep well. You can change your entire routine to fit this in, but I'm not sure if that is really gonna be helpful. And it's just not feasible for a lot of people. They also show off a lot of products that most people won't have in the first place, like the salt water rinse that you can make yourself pretty easily. Or they show off more expensive versions of products you would already have, like the toothpaste or the groceries in the grocery store, because I know that the M&S is not the most cheapest store in the world. The reason why there are so many products with seed oils, for example, is because seed oils are the cheapest option of fat for a processed food. Some things might be cheaper in this lifestyle. For example, I saw someone getting dried lentils, which is cheaper than getting canned preserved lentils, but like it's not balanced with each other. So I question if they also judge people who don't have the time and or money to live like this. I think they should absolutely make it more clear that this is not the only healthy way to live. I'm going back to my seed oil riddled life. I'm also ever so slightly disappointed in these people. I do question their life goals. Like, why are they doing this if they know that there are plenty of people who get decently old, decently healthily without doing all of this? I know of plenty of decently old people who are healthy and are not as obsessed with their health as these people, by far not. For example, my grandma, who I referenced earlier, who I will say it once again because I think it's a great thing to close off this video with: too much of anything is bad. Thank you for watching. If you like my little video, please press the wonderful shiny like and subscribe buttons, and then I will see you next time. Ciao!